Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, racinginthedirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Real, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser Engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD Ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. They're Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you know you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott at racinginthedirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at racinginthedirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's episode 3 of the Paddle Talk podcast, and we're going to start out talking Texas Mud Drags results from their race in Missouri. We have Jason Hoskins with us tonight, as well as Tim Soldat from Texas Mud Drags. So let's get into it, gentlemen. First off, thanks for being here. We greatly appreciate it. And Tim, let's get right to it. What class do we want to go to first?
Well, we can start off with our big block class, which Keith House won, and Mike Wilson came in second, and RJ Hefner came in third, and there were 19 trucks in that thing battling it out all night, trying to get to the top spot.
Shout out RJ Hefner, that kind of Pall Mall green Ford step side there. I love that truck. It looks cool. And yeah, it's a pretty bad hot rod. So Jason Hoskins, did you run a class down there? And if so, which class did you run?
I run the big block class. I was doing good until it got so late that I got tired and I eliminated myself basically.
You know, that's happened a time or two. I mean, I gotta admit, you're not the first guy and you ain't the last. So
I think I was eliminated at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my word. All right. Yeah, we'll let that go then. Oh my goodness.
He
Good.
did manage fourth place, and Billy George got fifth, so he did well.
Oh, well, see, that's not so bad then. So Keith House, engine builder out of where, like Mississippi or something like that? I recognize that name, I think.
Yes, sir. He is out of Mississippi.
Okay. All right. Good to see those guys traveling a little bit to come someplace. So, all right. What's our next class, Tim?
All right, so next class up is going to be the four-wheel mod class, which Rory Eckhart out of Wyoming won. My son Andrew came in second, and they ran for the win on that. And third place was Kelly Albertson.
Okay. Now you said, just so I want to make sure everybody heard that, you said Wyoming, like the state, correct?
That is correct.
Shout out, man. That's a little bit of a haul to get there.
Yes, sir. We were battling on who had the most miles to drive between him and I. And I think I got him by about 40 miles.
Now, this is we're running 200 foot on this track.
That is correct. 200 at all the tracks we run.
What kind of times is the big block class that Jason was in? What kind of times are those guys putting down?
My class, the times were kind of slow. The best I turned was a 3:16.
Okay.
I think the boogeyman might have turned a 3:14, but I'm not 100% positive.
All right. That's moving pretty good yet, though.
Well, we're used to running 3.0s. That was like I said, Mississippi and Texas, we both run 3.0s down there.
Sure. Yeah, it's a hooking track down there. That's no doubt about that. Tim, this the next class we talked about here, what kind of times are they running in that class?
The four mods were running high 2.9s and 3.0s, pretty much everybody in there. So that class, I believe, had 9 in it or 11, and everybody was right close to each other. I mean, they were within a tenth of a second of each other.
That's pretty awesome, and that to get that many cars in that tight of at 200 foot, that's got to be some really good racing.
5 o'clock in the morning racing.
Oh my word! All right, where are we heading next?
Okay, next one's going to be the door slammer class, and our good buddy out there, Casey Lawyer, won that one. Adam Smith came in second, and Shane Morton picked up third in that class.
A couple names I recognize there. Casey Lawyer kind of appears all over the place, man. That dude's everywhere these days.
Outstanding individual right there. He's a lot of fun to be around.
He is. Shout out to that team. So, Jason Hoskins, I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you ever consider moving to a different class other than the big block class you currently run?
Absolutely. As soon as you write me a check for sponsorship, I can't afford the class I'm in.
Hey, I got news for you, buddy. I got a race car of my own in the garage. That's probably not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I know the feeling, buddy. I mean, that if it hadn't have been for help with my dad and some sponsors that I've obtained this year, my truck wouldn't be the way it is now. I promise you.
Awesome. I love it, man. And I love the family aspect of it, right? I mean, as a guy that gets to go racing, I not only get to race with my dad and my son once in a while, and I know how big that is, and being able to see you and your dad out there, that's pretty awesome. Hats off to you.
He's 72 years old, and every time he looks at me and says, "Can I drive?" I don't even hesitate. I just sit back and laugh and watch. I would watch him every race if he wanted to do it.
That's awesome. I love it. All right, Tim. So where are we heading next?
Okay, so we got a naturally aspirated small block class. First place finisher was Eric Waters. Second place was Andy James, and third place was Luke Matlock. So that was just naturally aspirated trucks.
So those are naturally aspirated small block trucks. Minimum weight on those trucks?
I believe we did
2,800 pounds.
2,800 on that one, yes.
2,800 pounds. Okay.
Right.
That's no slouch there either. That's motor. I mean, what kind of times do those guys? Maybe what, 350s, something like that? I mean, or not even that slow.
I think they were running in the 340s, wasn't they, Tim?
I think the guy who won was in the 340s.
That's moving. I mean, that is really moving. Wow. Impressive. All right. So where are we to after that?
Okay, the next class we have is the small block power adder class, and Brandon Hooper won that class. And then we have Joe, I don't have a last name, and I have a Doug Jr. So those are the small block power adder guys that came and they ran. I think there were 4 or 5 in that class. Is that what you remember, Jason?
Yeah, I think there was 5.
And those guys were down there in the 3.0s, 2.90s. That Brandon Hooper truck was a fast truck.
Yes, it was impressive to watch.
Nice. Nice. All right, where are we heading after that?
Well, that's all the classes. Well, we ran a bracket class or something, didn't they? The local class, Jason?
Yes, sir. They had a bracket class. I'm pretty sure the gray Jeep ended up winning that, if I remember correctly. I don't know where he was out of
Pro ET, right?
Yeah, Pro ET.
Oh, okay. Okay, so in Pro ET, it was Brandon Arnold, Adam Coffey, hard to read that, and Joe Ruther or Renther. Ruther.
Yep, I recognize that name. So, yep. All right. Well, hey, that's pretty awesome. So, and you guys had some Michigan guys down there. I know Jason Vanderwall with that Hysteria Colorado was there, and I believe Todd Bilesman was there with the Wine Time Jeep as well, maybe?
The Wine Time didn't make it. He broke the night before.
Okay. All right. I wondered Jason
Vanderwall was there with the Colorado, the Hysteria truck.
Yes. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, they kind of struggled a little bit down by you guys yet too. They were struggling Friday night. That was the pro truck weekend by us. And when I talked to him this past weekend, they said that he finally found a cam sync sensor was going out in it and was working intermittently. Hence why it would, just didn't make a whole lot of power and nothing for RPM, once it got down track. So.
Yeah, he told me he thought the blower was going out of the front of it, but he couldn't figure it out right there on the spot.
Yeah, always tough when you get to the track, you have a problem and you're kind of scratching your head a little bit. So, but all right, so you guys have some big news. Which one do you want to tell us about what's happening next with Texas Mud Drags?
That would be me. I'm really excited about this because it's been a long time of wanting to actually go put a race on at the track. We have teamed up with the Franklin County Four Wheelers Association, the club down there in Brookville, Indiana. On October 12th, we will be running 200 foot down there on their track, and it's going to be a good time.
All right. That's awesome, man. I love to hear that. So there it is, folks. If you want to run heads up and you've got a truck that can fit some of their classes, Tim, we'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have and try to get in where you fit in a little bit. Here's your chance to run some 200-foot heads up on a really, really good track. I mean,
it's an awesome track.
That track is fast. There is no doubt about it, and you should have no reservations about that. So, Tim, if somebody's interested in running, doesn't quite know where their truck fits into this deal, how do they get a hold of you, or what is their next step for that then?
Okay, normally what we're going to send them to is the website. Go over there to Facebook, go to Texas Mud Drag, send us a private message. That way it's not all out over there, in the wonderful world where you get 10,000 comments about it and drive you nuts before you actually get the answer. Get it directly to us and we'll get you the answer real quick. And I do believe that Jason's got some added money information that he wants to throw out there too.
Oh,
absolutely.
Breaking news.
Well, we have 500 added to the Power Adder small block from the Snafu Racing team. We have 500 added to the four-wheel mod from Albertson Excavating. Kelly Albertson contacted me today. And I have another 500. We haven't decided which class that we were going to put it in yet, from Joe Swick. He hasn't sent me his logo yet for his company. I'm waiting on that so I can post it. And
nice.
Then I talked to another gentleman today that he told me the week of the event he would give me a $500 for whatever class I wanted to put it into. So I'm out kicking the bushes. I want to make this the best race I can make it because it's close to my house and it's one of the local tracks around here. And I really want this to be a good one.
Absolutely. Well, and hey, folks, you don't have an excuse at this point. There's good race to be had all the way into October. No reason the race season has to end yet. It sounds like it's going to be an awesome race. Yeah, can't wait. I know Damian Bowers is over the moon and has already been asking people about coming and that sort of thing. So he's really excited. Should be a really, really good show. Tim, what's going to be kind of the time as far as format for when things kick off on what day and, what happens the next day?
All right, so I'm going to defer that to Jason because he's got all the ins and outs on that, but I believe that the qualifying or whatever they want to call that's going to start at 1 o'clock. But let Jason go ahead and answer that because he's got all that information from Franklin over there.
Okay. Saturday, they're going to start at 1 o'clock for qualifying for they're going to have a bracket class. They've also added a 3,200 pound, any tire, small block or big block, naturally aspirated class. That's going to be their 2 local classes. Our racing will start at 5 o'clock, hopefully 5 o'clock sharp, so we don't end up racing until early morning. I'd like to get through this one and still be able to enjoy a little bit of after racing fun. We were so wore out. Honestly, I mean, Texas, it lasted. There were so many trucks. It lasted until 3 o'clock in the morning, their time. Mississippi was, I run my last pass at 5:45, which is 6:45 here. And then it was 4 o'clock in the morning when we got done in Missouri. I'm hoping this will ease it a little bit so we can actually celebrate and enjoy ourselves after the race and kick back and relax a little bit.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. So, oh my goodness. Yeah, those early morning things never do well for the ride home either.
Well, this will be the final, so it's going to be we're going to hope that this does finish a little early so we can celebrate a little bit.
Yes. Awesome, yeah, that'd be great, fantastic. Well, I know we'll be on site. Damian Bowers for sure. I don't know who else will be on site, but with some good coverage that weekend. So, anything else while you guys are wrapping up? Anybody you want to thank, get a shout out to, and anything like that before we wrap this up?
Well, I'd like to thank all the sponsors that's worked with us all year long to all the races, from Jay Leck all the way down to my buddy Jason Hoskins right here. He's pulled in a bunch of people, the tracks in Brazoria, Mississippi, Missouri. They all went out and their sponsors came up and helped them out and did everything. And it's been a really good season. We appreciate every single one of them.
Absolutely. They don't understand how much it actually helps the racers. When they may only be kicking in a little bit, but it helps the racers in the long run. And that's what we're trying to make good races for everybody. And we're all traveling all over the place. I get lucky this time because I'm only 40 minutes from there. So I can actually not have to leave the day before in order to make it there.
2 days before.
Yeah, you got 2 days before, Tim.
2 days before. 1,300 and change, buddy.
Oh man. Oh, that is a lot of rolling. Oh goodness. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming on tonight. Sounds like it's going to be an awesome race. Really does. And sounds like Missouri was a great time as well. Great to have you on. And hopefully we'll be having you on again in October. And one, we can do a little closer preview. And then, we'll go from there. So.
Yeah, we'd like to come on and do some updates for that because I know that there's going to be some stuff coming up here and changing. So we're going to hopefully add some more added money and some more stuff for the finals.
Figure out it for sure.
I'm still kicking the bushes. I'll still see what I can come up with. I'm working on it.
That's good to hear, man. Hey, and again, if you're even considering going and you see these two guys here, I mean, they are all in making this a great race. And sounds like it's going to be a great weekend. So, all right. So with that, we will wrap this up. Wrap up of the Missouri race and just a little preview of the upcoming Brookville race with Texas Mud Drags. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paddle Talk podcast. We are talking about the 2024 Hayfield Shootout. I was privileged enough to go there this weekend to cover all the racing and stuff. And so Billy Teeters and I are going to chat a little bit about results and overall impressions and that sort of thing. So Billy, you saw some of the live stream and stuff like that. Just from an outsider looking in, what'd you think?
It looked fast. A little different setup than usual. You guys did, what was it, qualifying, and then you split up the classes into 3 different heads-up type of classes after that. That's kind of different, kind of cool. Did that work out pretty fair? And everybody, I was curious about that. How'd that work out?
You know, it did, and we'll just jump right into it. So they actually do a street cruise on Friday night for the street class trucks. The majority of them that are there, you know, on Friday, they'll go on a cruise and everything else just to kind of make sure, you know, guys aren't cheating the system a little bit, we'll say, you know, and that sort of thing. So, which was really cool. And there was an added $250 up for the truck that made it through the cruise that made it the furthest in eliminations on Saturday. So an extra $250, you know, incentive for these guys, which was pretty sweet. I mean, I thought that was really cool. And man, $250, that's, yeah, I mean, you're right there with it.
Yeah, that's it's, you know, people, you know, $250 in our sport, it definitely is appreciated. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. So the format for the Hayfield Shootout is a little different than a lot of other races I've been to, but you know what? The whole event is unique, I've got to say. For those of you wondering, it's in Williamsburg, Michigan, which is kind of halfway between Kalkaska and Traverse City. If you look on a map off of M72, the setting, I'm not really sure how to describe it other than you can't see the track from the road. So you kind of drive along the edge of this hayfield, you come over this rise, and the track is just opening up before you, kind of down in this little bit of a valley. So it's very, very cool. Makes for an incredible setting. The setting was absolutely amazing. I believe Karen Boyd told me Saturday night that she had approximately, so they had a QR code set up where you could pre-register and prepay your entry to get into the gate, whether you were spectating or if you were racing. And she said she had, yes, yeah, and very forward thinking, I will say. And she said that she had around 1,000 QR code hits.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she said, and when she told me that, she also hauled out a stack of papers for kind of old school guys. I'll just say it. One of them was my dad that can't figure out the QR code thing and isn't good with the smartphone. So he just likes to pay cash and sign his name to the waiver when he gets there. But she had a stack that was probably 3/4 of an inch thick of single sheet papers for the rest of them. I mean, that is a ton of people.
That is. That's good revenue for a track too. You know, that's
absolutely
to help these things keep going. I heard somewhere along the grapevine. I don't believe you told me this. This is the last Hayfield Shootout. Is that true? Is there gonna be another one of these?
Oh boy, I mean, I haven't heard that.
Oh,
I hope that's not true.
Okay, so you definitely didn't tell me that.
I guess we'll have to we'll have to chalk that one up as unknown for right now. Hopefully, I tell you what, I will do some legwork and I'll see before next week's podcast what I can come up with, and we'll update this story as information's available. How's that sound?
Yeah, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do our due diligence on that. And if you have any information on that as well, please let us know. Because
yeah,
is it something? Because I recently became invested in keeping this place open after hearing that, because I heard it was fast, like really fast. and I heard some people were trying to break some records. Did that happen?
Absolutely. So, I don't know that anybody broke a record. Nobody approached me for, a sign off or anything else while I was there Saturday. So to my knowledge, nobody had. Last year, Todd Bilesma, who is our sport mod record
Sport
holder?
mod. Yep.
Yes.
Sport mod.
So he went a 309 there last year, and they were trying to go quicker than that this year and didn't quite get there, but not for lack of trying, I will say. So, so what they do is, like I said, they start with that street cruise on Friday night. Saturday, they basically run what boils down to a qualifying session, and it runs approximately 11 a.m. till somewhere around 4 p.m. And at the end of the qualifying, you bring your best time slip to the registration booth. And the fastest 8 street trucks end up in the street class. The fastest 8 cars on the property end up in the fast class. And then they do something a little different. They take the tightest grouping of 8 cars, meaning 8 cars, preferably with a couple tenths of each other, type of thing. And that's they call it the slow class, but we called it kind of the quick 8 instead of the fast 8, the quick 8, with the idea that, hey, these are usually still really, really fast stuff. It's just not quite quick enough to run that other, that faster, 8 class where it's basically outlaw, run what you brung and hope it's enough type of deal.
So each class had 8 competitors in it.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So if it was like you didn't meet the criteria, you're kind of screwed, or was there just
correct.
like enough cars? Oh, okay, all right.
Yep. But here's kind of the thing as well. On these 8 classes, just because your number gets picked and says, hey, here's the fastest 8 cars on the property. We'll say one of the guys is like, you know what, I'm broke, I can't run. Well, then they'll go to the next closest, time slip that they have and say to that guy, hey, do you want to run? And you can either say yes or you can say no. If you say yes, it's $100 to get in the class. If you say no, it's no additional money. You made a bunch of test hits and you had a good time. So it really, nobody's really out anything if you don't make one of the 8 car fields.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty good deal.
There was a guy there in what was that thing? A Wrangler with a little bit of long travel on it and stuff, twin turbo LS, I believe, in it. And that guy had to have made 20 passes Saturday.
That's awesome.
That thing was in the lanes all the time. It was
shout out to that guy.
No doubt. Sure. What was his name? Luke Harris, I think it is. So if Luke's on here and watching, man, that thing was awesome. And when he started getting it dialed in, I tell you what, about the 60-foot mark, it was pulling that left front tire up a good 2 foot off the ground and trying to wheelie pretty much every pass once he got it dialed in. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive. So what kind of ETs were we seeing at each class? Who won these things?
So the Fast 8, which is the fastest 8 cars on the property, your winner was Mr. Ryan Portinga, driving his what I would call 295, 325 car that altered, that blown small block in it.
Oh, he had the blower car out there.
He did have the blower car out. And actually, this is what's crazy. His opponent was Mr. Mike Page in the Sandstorm car, also running blown small block Chevy. So it was the 2 small blocks that made it all the way to the final against each other. Which was kind of crazy because Todd Bilesmo was there with his big Steve Morris big block. Jason Vanderwall was there, fresh off of his Pro Truck Elite and Missouri Texas Mud Drags weekend. He was up there with his Colorado, and also brought his full-size Blazer to run the street class. So they were fully invested at that point. Jay Portinga was there. Matt Peel was driving for Jay, so with Drag Nasty. Steven Swagger was there with their Bronco. They have a big cubic inch nitrous motor there. And I'm trying to think who the 8th car was. Dave DeLoof, who is a guy that does not come out very often. And his dragster were there. And he also has a blown small block. So
what kind of ETs was Mr. Portinga running with the Aldred?
With the altered, I think this going into eliminations, I think his best pass was around 320, 322. But first round of eliminations, he laid down, I believe it was like a 314, and really showed that thing had a little muscle to it. And yeah, marched on through, and Mike was there. And Mike, they developed an ignition problem after the semifinals, and they changed the plugs out, hoping they'd maybe just burnt a ground strap, I believe, or something. But yeah, just they staged the car, it left, and probably 60 foot out, I think it just nosed over, and that was it. So, but yeah, Ryan laid down some really, the 60 foots were definitely right there. I mean, it's good black, kind of dark, really loamy style dirt, and had a lot of bite to it. I mean, a lot of bite to it. So
that's awesome. Well, it sounds like a good hooking track, and
very much so. So
what else we got?
So the quick 8, which would be our kind of slower class 8, ranged all the way from Dale Flogger to Jeff Miller, and conveniently, which is crazy, those two guys ended up in the finals, fastest car in the class and the slowest car in the class. And Jeff Miller, slowest car in the class, ended up taking the win. Dale Flogger was, I believe, like 032 red, something like that. But Jeff had been on his game, had been pulling good lights all day. I think he was like 012 in the semifinals with like a 430. And that's what we saw a lot of actually Saturday, was people winning on hole shots, and which was pretty impressive. So yeah, so Jeff Miller, your big winner in the quick 8 class. And then in the street class, we had Nick Chernich, white CJ7 that runs like mid 450s, running against Aaron Whitcop with his full-size Ford pickup, which also conveniently runs 450s. They both had run 454. I believe Chernich had run 454 with a 4, and Whitcop ran like a 454 with a 6 in the semi. So the final was going to be awesome. And Aaron Whitcup foot brakes that big Ford, believe it or not, foot brakes to a 450, and it pushed just a little deep in the final, lit the red light, and Nick Chernich was gone and took the win in the class. So very impressive, though. I mean, I tell you what, full-size trucks running mid 4.5 seconds, no power adder, pretty impressive. So
yeah, it's booking. Yeah, it's fast.
Yep. So yeah, really good to see. Ton of people. I hope that's not the last one. I'm serious. I really do, because I tell you what, I know for Sean, Karen, Cam Boyd, the whole Boyd family, I know it's a ton of work, but I tell you what, it was very impressive how the people just kept coming the whole day. I had a gentleman come up, ask me if I could give a shout out to a guy. Guy was 92 years old, and he had been to every Hayfield shootout since the first one.
That's awesome. And I don't mean to scare people whenever I say that. It's just something I heard, and if it's false, my bad. But that's just something I heard. I don't, like I said, if I can remember who told me that, I just say it, but I don't remember. My fault. But yeah. I hope it's not the last one. It sounds like Isaac had a great time. Sounds like everybody else that went had a great time. Shout out to those winners for sure.
Absolutely, And I kind of came up with a phrase this, over the weekend. I think I said even on one of the live shots that we had, I said, this is the biggest race you've never heard of, because I don't know that a ton of people even know it happens, just because it's back off the road. It's not, there's no billboards, there's no anything. I mean, literally you turn onto this dead end gravel road, you drive like a quarter mile, and all of a sudden here's this small sign that says Hayfield Shootout with an arrow. It's crazy, but it was phenomenally awesome. It's a great thing. And I tell you what, it is true grassroots racing at its best. A lot of fun. They keep things moving, keep them on time. I mean, we were scheduled to be done racing at 7:00, and I am here to tell you at 7:06, I heard the amplifiers for the band come on. They have a live band that plays on Saturday night, and the band guy was talking about, this is going to be our first song. I mean, it was bang, getting stuff done and moving on to the next thing. That part of it was very impressive, I got to say. So
yeah, it's kind of different. It's kind of unique. sounds very cool, to be honest.
Very much so, So shout out to everybody that was there this weekend. They had a Greek food truck, a Mexican food truck, and an ice cream food truck all on site. I mean, and I would be remiss if I did not mention, that's Doug Vinlett was our other person in the Fast 8, so to speak. He had the small car out this weekend.
Oh, okay. I'll say he's out there breaking the track record again. I see.
Not quite this weekend, but anyway, and I have to give a shout out. Brett Penoyer brought me some ribs Saturday night.
Hey.
And oh my word, it was phenomenal. I was just happy that K-Dub didn't have anything to do with it, but I tell you what, the ribs were fantastic. Maybe, you know what, K-Dub, if you're going to Brookville, maybe Brett could show you how it's done. And we'll leave it at that.
Oh, no. K-Dub doesn't win points, and now somebody cooks ribs better than him? Oh, no.
You know what? I smell a WSDN cook-off. That sounds like a WSDN TV episode.
All right, I'm sold. We'll have to start production on that ASAP. Top priority right there.
Top priority. So we're going to do our due diligence, finding out, either confirming or hopefully disproving the last Hayfield Shootout, deal. Yeah, I'm just going to say, if you haven't been already, this definitely is a race you need to, even as a spectator. My dad went, loved every minute of it that he was there. So great spectator crowd, great ambiance. The setting is fantastic. If we were a couple of weeks later in September, maybe where it's getting a little cooler and the trees would have been starting to turn color, it would have been, like something out of a postcard. So very impressive. Shout out to Bill, the guy running the portrait setup, as that thing was flawless all day. They even had a couple times, they had a couple of sensors get run over. I think twice we had to go down for some repairs, and he handled it like a champ, got to it, got it done, and our downtime was very minimal. So that being said, hey, 2024 Hayfield Shootout in the books.
Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, RacingInTheDirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom-built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Reel, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser Engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD Ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts, where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. Their Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you know you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott at racinginthedirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at racinginthedirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
It's the Paddle Talk Podcast, and our next segment is all about the Outlaw Series finale at Brookville, Indiana. My co-host, we'll say co-host, Damian Bowers joins me for all things Outlaw, since that's right in his backyard. Mini Mooch, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
A bit tired. Was watching some of the drag week cars go by today. They were up a little north of us, so went and seen some drag racing cars of a different breed.
Nice. All right. That's always kind of cool. All right. So, Outlaw Series finale coming up this coming weekend, September 20 and 21, as people can see aboard the flyer behind you. I see Andrew Meyer there, Keith Bourne. Although I did see a picture of Keith Bourne's short block, and I'm pretty sure that truck's got some issues.
Yeah, unfortunately, Keith's not going to be able to make it unless he puts his old motor back in. Andrew's also not going to make it, unfortunately. He just recently had to undergo some back surgery.
I did see that. So, hey, shout out from all of us here at WSDN. Andrew Meyer, hope you're feeling better, buddy, and hope you heal up good as well. So, all right. So, that being said, let's move on. Friday night, September 20, what do we have coming down the pipe?
Obviously, starts the day out with the test and tune. They're going to run 2 sessions of the King of the Outlaws qualifying, looking to be one of the biggest top eliminator fields I've known of. They're expecting over 20, maybe even over 24 cars, as well as the 4.0 index class. Points will be decided there. And then you also have the 350 class, which I don't know if he can be beat, but Austin, he's been in the finals at both races for the 350 class, Austin Bullock, and as well as the open bracket. The open bracket is also a points-paying class on Friday night, and John Sword currently sitting at the top of that by a large margin.
You know, I selfishly would like to see Austin Bullock, Terry Wise match up in that 350 class. Terry Wise been killing it all summer up at Silverback Off-Road Speedway, and that'd be a heck of a matchup right there. So now, one thing I did notice, so for the 350 and the 4.0, there's no time trials. If you want a time trial or you need a test pass, you need to do that during the kind of the time trial / open test and tune, correct?
Yes. Like for me, I'm going to be going for the 4.0 class mainly. Last weekend, we took the Jeep down to Brookville and made sure everything was hitting on all cylinders. It ran right where we were hoping it would. Going to make some small changes, run it in the test and tune just to make sure I've got it where it needs to be for the 4.0 class come Friday.
Nice.
With the points for that class, it's sitting with me, Rebecca Boyce, and Anthony Ball, all within a round or two of each other. Rebecca Boyce always a contender anywhere she goes. Anthony Ball, he's having to slow his truck way down because just a few weeks ago, he ran a personal best with a 363 out of a naturally aspirated 3,200-pound truck.
Woo! Wow.
His goal is eventually to be able to run the 350 class with that truck.
That would be impressive. That would be awesome. Shout out to those guys, man. Make it happen. My word. All right, so moving on to Saturday. What's going to happen on Saturday then?
Saturday, they'll run regular time trials for the open bracket and the 450 index class. If you're only entered in one class, you'll get 2 time passes. If you enter both the bracket and the 450 class, generally with the Outlaw Series, you get 3 time passes. So one on Sportsman or one on Pro Tree, and then the other, you get the 2 runs. Then they'll also have the final qualifier and eliminations for King of the Outlaws, which is our 295 index, top eliminator, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from. And it's looking to be a huge show. I know Vinlet's coming. He's on a tear, breaking records, and that's what I'm hearing he's coming for.
I believe you are correct. I talked to Doug this past weekend at the Hayfield Shootout, and that's really what they were setting their sights on, going down there to Brookville and putting up a big or low number, depending on how you look at it, when they get down there. So it should be very good. Gonna run, you got kids classes then Saturday morning as well as the adults?
Yes, Pee-wees and juniors will be running Saturday morning. Around here, that's a big class, so look forward to seeing how that all shakes out. Again, I don't know the points on that class right off the top of my head. I know the 450 points class, you're looking at Blake Cole sitting on top, John Soares right there, Matt Peel. And then for King of the Outlaws, this is the tightest I've ever seen points for a top eliminator class. There's legitimately, I believe, 8 cars that could take the points for King of the Outlaws.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Now, does King of the Outlaws have qualifying points or no?
That I don't know fully. I've never really looked at it. I believe there is a bonus for number 1 qualifier.
Okay. Just curious. Just seeing how, how things shake out. So, interesting. All right. Well, hey, that sounds like a great weekend at the Franklin County Four-Wheelers track there in Brookville. And contacts, if somebody's interested in coming down and running, who are they getting a hold of?
Ryan Kerr, or not Ryan Kerr, sorry. Cut that, please. Ryan Wilson, Dan Otis Sizemore, and Cody Trice. If you've seen the flyer on our Facebook page, my Facebook page, on the Outlaw Series page, their phone numbers are on the flyer. If you're wanting any information on track of when you can get in, gates open at 8 in the morning on Thursday. So if you can get there early to find a spot, because it's looking to be packed.
Absolutely. And to be fair, if you couldn't get a hold of one of the other 3 guys and you did need to get a hold of Ryan Kerr, he could probably get you in touch with one of the other 3 guys as well. So we won't totally bomb Kerr out of this deal.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, hey, sounds like it's going to be a great race. Looking forward to it. Great. The Outlaw finale is usually a really, really good event, and sounds like it's going to be pretty stacked this year. We know there's a fair amount of out-of-state people coming, some rumors of some Texas guys even making the trip and that sort of thing. So should be a really, really good race.
I know I've seen in one of the comments on, or one of the posts on Facebook with the flyer, Sean Berg out of Oregon was asking about the shutdown lengths and possibly talking about making the trek.
Man, that would be something. That
I don't know how
sweet.
serious he is on that, but
yeah, that would be pretty sweet. So, all right, so that's going to end the Outlaw Series finale preview. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 43 of the Paddle Talk podcast. And we're talking MRA World Finals at the Upper Meramec Dirt Drags in Cook Station, Missouri. Greg and Elizabeth Booker, your host down there, looking to be a great time. And our own Caleb Mings is going to be on site. Possibly could be sleeping in a tent or in somebody's trailer. Don't know yet, but hey, whatever. Caleb Mings, besides being slightly unprepared that way, how are we looking for the finals?
I'll get that all figured out. I'm really stoked to go. This can be my first MRA race. Obviously, been to a couple of the races out in San Antonio as far as the mud drag world goes, but really looking forward to seeing some of the crazy performance here. No stranger to it, being on the West Coast, we've seen a lot of those top alcohol machines out here in the 300-foot world, really, setting the world ablaze, but really excited to be out there for the Upper Meramec finals. First of all, I want to shout out to our coverage sponsors that are going to be getting us out there. So I got Sam and Gage Lambazio with Bazio Plumbing, Steve Renaud Renault in the Frantic car. Really looking forward to seeing that thing in person. We got Casey and Allison Lawyer. I know Billy did a pretty good interview with them back at DT's with Casewin Construction. And Greg and Carlos Martinez, Team Scream. So really, I want to shout out all of those guys for helping us get out there. Cannot do it without you, and looking forward to meeting everybody in person.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, man. I was down there in June, and I can tell you, you're gonna have a great time. One, and two, it's gonna be awesome. And just so you know, the catfish nuggets or catfish nachos are as good as advertised. Shout out to whoever was making food the last time we were there. It was pretty righteous. So you got some really good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Love the cooking out there. Definitely looking forward to that just as much as the racing action.
Absolutely. So we have what? Super stock, pro stock, outlaw pro stock, modified cuts and modified paddles, and we also have open cut and open paddles, correct?
Yep. And do we actually know which is going to be the combined ET and reaction time class? That's one thing I'm not sure of here for the finals.
You know what? I actually don't know myself. That is a good question. Billy Teeters, Mr. Stats, any input on this from your side of things?
So your combined ET and reaction time class usually says on the flyer here. Friday at 7, Saturday at 3, tech and registration, 2 hours prior to race time, driver's meeting, 2 hours prior to race time, $100 reaction time bonus. Looks like it doesn't have one.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
They got the combined bonus there for fastest combined ET. But yeah, I don't see anything else on that. So, well, I'm sure that they still have that on there. I will make sure to report that to you guys once I'm on site and know which class we're going to be doing that. Obviously, that always kind of mixes things up there when you're adding in the reaction time because, when you're just running the ET, you can kind of sit there at the lights and really, tune into, making sure you've got the perfect launch, getting the RPMs right. And when you're suddenly got that reaction time thrown into the mix, can throw some people's starting line procedures off a little bit, and definitely going to see who can be on top of both ends of that performance game.
Absolutely. I remember one of the guys from the first race when we were down there, I asked him, I said, what are you doing to kind of try to cut a good light and everything else? And he said, literally, man, he said, I watched the two cars in front of me. He says, I kind of counted how quick the light was coming. And he goes, I just made up in my mind I was going to count to like 2 or 3 and just let go of the button and see what happens.
Hey, I mean, that could sometimes help you, but depends if they got a little delay built into there. I don't know how they're running their tree. I've definitely seen that bite people where they think they've got a pattern going, and then all of a sudden it's a quick tree or if it's a slow tree.
Yeah, that could cause some problems. So no, it should be a great event. I tell you what, it's being the finals. Everybody can lay it out, and nobody's got to worry about making a race in 6 weeks because they got a long winter to put some things back together. So should be a really good race. Some really good cars going to be there. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to all the coverage. I will be at home, so looking forward to Caleb keeping us up to date on what's going on. And kind of nice that things get rolling there a little later on in the evening. Makes it a little easier to be home from work, and get tuned in as well, right, Caleb?
Oh, definitely. And, definitely going to be trying to provide as much coverage as possible. Obviously, the live portion of it, that's going to be very contingent on cell service. But if we don't get any of that, I'm definitely going to make sure there's going to be tons of photos, videos, reels going up. Once we get back into civilization, get some stable internet, just be on the lookout for that. If you're not seeing a bunch of live updates, we'll make sure that we've got plenty of coverage coming at the end of each day. And as you said, Isaac, everybody's going to be throwing everything they have at it. I am predicting that come Saturday, the second day of the event, there's probably going to be a few less entries in some of the top classes than hit the track on Friday.
it's very possible, and yeah, should be interesting, and maybe get some wind of some new cars in the works while you're down there, and even some stuff that's for sale. I know we've seen a couple of cars that are very competitive there for sale. I know there's a car in the Coolidge camp that's for sale currently, and the talk is maybe they're going to an Outlaw Pro Stock for next year. So that's an interesting turn. An Outlaw Pro Stock that can run modified as well instead of sticking with the rail type of setup. So should be very interesting. And yeah, I think you're in for a really good time. So
I'm definitely looking forward to those Outlaw Pro Stocks. I love that class.
Who doesn't, right? Outlaw Pro Stock is quite an awesome class. You got the Georges, obviously our friend of the show, Casey Lawyer, some other guys in there, and Kelby Lautner, with the Patriot and stuff. I mean, those are some awesome. I mean, Razor's Edge, Will Harrison as well. I mean, that thing's probably the most talked about Outlaw Pro Stock this summer. I mean, everybody knows that truck. So should be a great weekend, and really looking forward to seeing the coverage.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's it. MRA finals coming up this weekend. Stay tuned. WSDN on-site coverage all weekend with Mr. Caleb Mings. And we'll be bringing you everything that's fit to air from that weekend. It's back to the Paddle Talk podcast. We're doing a preview now of a couple of upcoming races down at Thunder Valley. Regular points race coming up this coming weekend, September 21st. And the Show Me Fall Nationals coming up September 27 and 28 down there. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty good show. And Billy Teeters is here to do our previews of not only the points race, but also the Show Me Nationals. So, Billy, what do you got in store for us?
Well, for the Thunder Valley Sand Drags points race this coming Saturday, it's actually our points finale. And so points champions will actually be crowned this Saturday. If I'm wrong about that, I'll update that next week. But I'm pretty sure this is our points finale. We'll be running Pro Comp, Pro 1 ATV, Pro 2 ATV, Pee-wees and Juniors. Those will be our points championship classes. And then we have Sport Comp and Sport ATV as well. And if you don't know what those are, I'll explain those right here, because we're running those same classes at our Show Me Fall Nationals the week after. And Friday, September 7th, we're running Test and Tune from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. 6:30 p.m. we have our first qualifier for Top Eliminator and Top Alcohol. Top Eliminator is your traditional 295 index class. Top Alcohol is basically run what you run on methanol. Although I do want to announce that we will let Fast 4 cars on Nitro run the class as well. Even though that we've had it happen before, and Adam Rowe won the class whenever he did that, but I don't think he's going to do it again. But I just had to say that. But Top Eliminator, actually the 295 index Top Eliminator has $1,000 of added money. I should have said that last week as well. But yeah, $1,000 added money next week for not next week. Well, it will be next week for the Top Eliminator class at Thunder Valley Sand Drags. And then we have our 50-50 classes, which is 50% of the money in the pot goes towards the track and 50% of the money in the pot goes to first place. That will be ran until completion for cars and ATVs. And then we will have the second qualifier for Top Eliminator, Top Alcohol on Friday night. Starting Saturday, as always, we'll do the Pee-wees and Junior classes first, time trials and eliminations. And then starting around 3 p.m., we're looking at the third qualifier for Top Eliminator and Top Alcohol. Pro and Sport classes get their time trials right after that. And then we will run our final qualifier for Top Eliminator and Top Alcohol. And then all of our racing starts right after that. Top Alcohol, $500 entry fee. Top Eliminator, your 295 index, is a $200 entry fee. Both of those classes are 100% payback. Pro Comp is a Pro Tree Open ET bracket race, $100 entry fee, 80% payback. Sport Comp, Full Tree Open ET, $30 entry fee, trophy payout. Pro Comp, Sport Comp, just for like your cars, dragsters, buggies, Jeeps, trucks, side-by-sides can run it as well. Pro 1 ATV is a Pro Tree, $4.99 and faster. Staggered start, $100 entry, 80% payback. Pro 2 ATV, full tree, 5.0 and slower, $50 entry, 80% payback. Sport ATV is a full tree, open ET, $30 entry fee, trophy. That's a trophy class. Side-by-side class, side-by-sides only, is a $50 entry fee, 80% payback. And then we have juniors. There's a $20 entry, Pee-wee's $20 entry. Both of those are trophy classes. Although I'm gonna get some money put together for those kids classes. And then 50-50, as I described, it's $50 entry fee. 50% goes to first place, and there's trophies for first and second as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a great weekend at Show Me Fall Nationals. I know there's some people. Well, never mind. I'm good. Never mind. 3, 2, 1. So we got a great weekend coming up at Thunder Valley Sand Drags for the Show Me Fall Nationals. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, and you guys are all recovered from the water earlier this year and everything else. Tracks looking good, ready to roll. Should be a really, really good show.
Yeah, wind lights work, so the people from out of state aren't going to get confused. So it's going to be great. Yeah, and we'll talk about this more next week. And but yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Looking forward to it. And folks, I tell you, if you're watching this and you're wondering, hey, I'd like to pick up a race here before the end of the year or something like that, there's some really good racing. We're actually going to preview another race as well down at Little Sandy, but there is really good racing yet to be had this summer. So don't put that stuff away yet. At least here in Michigan, the weather's been really good this far. So there's still time, folks, is what we're trying to say. All right. So that wraps up the Thunder Valley preview for not only next weekend, but a little snippet preview of the Show Me Fall Nationals. And we'll get a little more in-depth even next week about that. All right, we're back. Episode 43 of the Paddle Talk podcast. And we're talking about SoCal Sand Drags September Shootout coming up September 27, 28, and 29 at the, what are we calling it these days? The Lake Elsinore Motorsports Complex? I don't know.
Motorsports Park.
Motorsports Park. I like that. So Caleb Mings, our resident West Coast contributor, is on with me. Caleb just getting off work. I'm getting ready to go to bed. So that's kind of how this is working. So, all right, Caleb, bring us up to speed. What's going on at Lake Elsinore next weekend?
Yep, so we've got the Greg Tungan Motorsports September Shootout, final race of the season for the SoCal Sand Drags. Going to see some great weather, some awesome racing action, return, and some new vehicles coming out. We've got a new top alcohol car coming out of the Chris Minor Racing Camp. So they're going to be campaigning that new alcohol dragster alongside their record-setting Pro Mod Jeep. We've got Mikey Vickroy bringing out an A-Fuel dragster to run in the top alcohol field. Haven't seen one of those in a while, right, Isaac?
Oh, it's when I saw that, I had to look twice, and I was like, wait, what? What is that? Oh, that is, I mean, that is very, very rare, but very, very cool, man. Shout out to them, because when they run right, they run really right. Mm-hmm. But when they don't, they really don't. There's no medium with those A-Fuel cars, it seems.
Yeah, so it's going to be really cool to see another nitro-injected V8 out there. I think the last one that we saw on the sand was out of the Hammerdown Racing Camp back in the mid-late 2000s, probably.
I would say yes, definitely.
Yeah, so they're going to be running, I believe, in the top alcohol class there. Another huge story is we're going to see the return of the Morris Family Racing Rig Heavy Metal. The record-setting blown V8 buggy is coming back to the sand for the first time in, almost 2 decades now.
Absolutely. I only saw that, and now I've only seen that car run at one event in all my time, and then it kind of got shelved a little bit because that was about the time Billy was coming out with the $2 bill buggy, and Rick and the family were really focusing on that. But I was super excited and super stoked to see that was going to make its return. Long overdue in my book, but really excited. And maybe this spurs our friend, Mr. Graham, to kind of get his stuff all together and wrapped up as well.
Oh, definitely. The whole Triple Threat Racing crew, the whole Graham camp, Tristan especially, but Paul too. You know that he's run a couple 80s in that car since he put a little fresh rebuild on it, and you know they're all going to be gunning to have the bragging rights to who's got the fastest buggy that event.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. So don't count out my man, Larry Snow. He may be a little older these days, but he's still kind of sly and wily.
Hey, he already got an event win at the season opener, so you know he's definitely hungry for more, I'm sure.
For knowing Larry, absolutely.
But yeah, we're gonna have tons of great racing action. So Top Alcohol, obviously the premier fastest class out there. We're gonna be seeing, you know, Jim Hammond in the April Stream Machine laying down some 240s. Really excited to see some of those new alcohol cars and what they're going to be running. Pro Mod Unlimited, that short wheelbase front engine class, guaranteed to have some exciting passes. Now, breaking news on this, I know Nick Schultzman, the Plan B Motorsports Blue Bayou altered. He's got a new build coming, but last checked in with him, it's not going to be done yet. They still got the fuel system out. So probably going to have to wait till 2025 before we see that new machine. And you know that he's gunning to really take over the altered record even more with that machine. He wants to run right alongside Chris in that Pro Mod Jeep. So going to be looking forward to seeing when that thing comes out. But great top eliminator crowd, of course. We just spoke. We're going to have Billy Morris out there behind the wheel of the heavy metal buggy. All the Grams out there. The Vegas crew coming out for top eliminator. We just saw a couple people test in Dome Valley a few weekends back. So Hickey Racing, they've got their new small block, all rebuilt, PSI blower on that. They ran a 295.0 at Dome. So they're right there. Looking forward to making some good passes to the small block. We've got Looney Racing as well. Tommy Zavala out there, the blown Looney machine. He now has Nick Schultzman's old motor. And they've been tuning that thing back, obviously, from running 260s in Nick's car. Ran a 298 at Dome, so they're dialing that thing in for the top eliminator as well. Going to be seeing, you know, them out there, the rest of the Vegas crew, Yabba Dabba Doo Racing, Fast Track Construction with Mr. Mark Punos, and going to be a really great top eliminator field, I think. We got all the pro and sport bracket classes as well. So I got 3 pro car classes, 2 sport car classes, the Dooner Shootout, which I know is not really a class that gets run anywhere else in the country. Kind of something special just started up this year. But Kevin Williams, Tim Gilmore, they're providing the purse for that class and some great payout. It's going to pay $1,000 to first place, $100 entry. You got a Dune car out there? Come out and give Sand Drags a shot. It's going to be a blast.
Sounds pretty good. And yeah, I love the concept of the Dooner Shootout. I think it's great. Shout out Kevin Williams, Mr. Gilmore for putting that together and really sticking with it. Okay, so I'm just going to state the obvious here. I hear a lot of Pro 1, Pro 2 cars, sport cars. Are we missing a 3-letter word class that is fairly popular in California and on the West Coast, possibly?
That is true. We're still no bikes at the event, so any of the ATV stuff is not there still. We'll see what happens with 2025. I know they're kind of trying to figure out a way that they can have all the programs work and play nice with each other. No bikes at this event, though. They still are going to allow ATVs for the kids' classes, though. So if you got a kid out there, they got a little quad that they want to run, that is all A-OK. It's just for the adult ATV classes that those got nixed. And like I said, we'll see what happens in 2025.
Is it ATVs all, or is it just wing dingers? I mean, if it's some sort of power sports powered thing, is that still considered an ATV?
So they typically have let anything that is a sit-on machine be classified as the motorcycle classes. So we've had even a blown ejected small block. If you were sitting on it versus sitting in it, you're on the ATV class. We've had some junior dragsters, you know, some big, you know, G6R, CBR 1000 motor stuff that in a junior dragster chassis, they've run within the car class. And then as far as our other power sports friends that are side by sides, those run in the cars class as well. So if you've got a side by side, You're going to run against the Jeeps, the buggies, the dragsters. Obviously fit in wherever you fit as far as your ET goes for those different classes.
So in other words, sit in, okay. Sit on, not so much.
That is
so
correct.
Stagecoach, not allowed. Junior dragster, totally legit. I get it. No, that's a lie. I don't get it, but whatever, man. It is what it is, and I'm not beating my head on that one. So, all right. It sounds like it's going to be a really great race. Lake Elsinore is a super fast track. Skydivers, I mean, one could randomly end up in the shutdown area at any point in time. So there's that, whole
Let's hope
deal.
not. Let's hope not.
I mean, I'm just saying it could happen. That's, wind change or something like that. You never know. Some inexperienced person, could be an interesting weekend. I mean, who knows what'll happen. So, all right. Who's helping us get there? Because I know you're going to be on. Are you going to be on site for coverage?
Yes, I'll be on site.
Okay.
I'm going to be heading out there Friday after work, so I'm going to try to capture the end of that night. Assuming they're still running, it'll be the 395 index as well as the Friday edition of the Pro Gambler class. But want to give a big shout out to coverage sponsors for that event. We got Fast Track Construction, Looney Racing, Triple Threat Racing, and Hickey Racing all helping us out there. So we're going to be on site, live streams, reels, photos, all the fun stuff with that. So stay tuned. Going to be an awesome time. And like you said, fast track out there. I'm going to guess that we're probably going to see some people contending for some of those world records.
That's awesome. Maybe. Oh, I was almost going to say, maybe we'll see a new 4x4 quad world record, but they're not allowed. So I guess we'll have to wait for that. Okay. Yep. Anyway, it sounds like a great event. It's SoCal, so I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And sounds like it's going to be a really good time. So September 27, 28, 29, Lake Elsinore Motorsports Park. One.
Oh, do the 3, 2, 1 again. I'm sorry.
3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, we're back. Episode 43 of the Paddle Talk podcast with my co-host Caleb Mings, Dave Applegate in the house. We're going to talk about the Speeders event. This is a race where ATVs are not only encouraged, they're also welcome. So let's move right into our coverage. All right. So September 26, 27, and 28 at Little Sandy Raceway. Now, we're actually going to start with an interview that Dave shot when he was down at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Now, in case you're wondering, where is that? If you've ever heard of Lights Out or No Mercy, the No Prep Asphalt Series, it's the same place. So, known for huge spectator crowds and great racing, and Dave is going to be bringing dirt drags to South Georgia Motorsports Park. So right now we have Dave and South Georgia Motorsports Park owner Raul Torres in an interview that Dave did when he was down there, kind of scoping the track out and talking about his race coming up there in November.
All right, World Sand Drag News. We are here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. I am down here to work with the owner of the track to get ready for our last event for Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series down here in Adel, Georgia. So I'm going to turn it over and have you guys meet the owner. Alrighty.
Morning, guys. Morning, Dave.
How you doing? Can you
Excellent.
tell your name and how long you own the track?
My name's Raul Torres, and my wife Jennifer and I have owned the track for about a year and a month now. We bought it July 31st, 2023.
Nice. And as you can tell, this is a very nice place. I have been here before myself. And there's a couple really big events that you guys put on here on the blacktop. And that is Lights Out, and there's another one, No Mercy?
There's Lights Out, there's No Mercy, there's year-end finale. We'll have almost 400 rigs next weekend for division finals. So then 2 weeks from now, we'll have probably 55 to 6,000 guests at a concert. So the list goes on and on. From now, which is early September to the end of December, we do not have a weekend off. We have one event after the other, including, you know, Southern Powersports.
And also, can we see it from here? The over there in that parking lot, they do the burnout contest,
That's
right?
right. September 21st, we have a truck and taco show, and we'll have a concert at night and a burnout pit here during the day as well.
Did he just say truck and taco show?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We'll have over 40 food vendors and
Wow.
and a concert at night.
That's
So
awesome.
we're all about motorsports. Anything we could, anything gearheaded related, we're all for it.
Well, it's raining out here today, so we're not. We went down to where all the dirt action happens, and we are soaked. But there's other things that go on here other than dirt and drag or dirt drag racing, and that is you got the mega trucks that come here too as well.
Yeah, we had Premier Mega Truck do their season opener here in March. It was a big hit. We had 2 figure-8 courses over on the dirt drags, and that was a big hit. We had a real good time with them, and look forward to having you guys now in November as well.
Yeah, so November 14th through the 16th.
That's right.
We will be here. If I can get us both in here, we will be here November 14th through the 16th for the last race of the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series. We are working on the track, so that's what me and Raul did today. As we went down and we figured out where we're going to put the racetrack, measured it all out. He's already got the concrete barriers down there. It's going to be really good. So I don't know. Possible. We haven't talked about this yet, but you know, it might be a spot that we can maybe have some guys playing in the mud because you got some mud spots out there.
Oh, we'll absolutely have the mud park open. So we opened the mud park in January. It's been a big hit. We've had 5 events since then.
Yep.
And we'll absolutely allow your guys to run into the trails, go into bounty hose. We've got wash stations, showers. We're right off the interstate.
Yep.
And when, you know, the Midwest and the Northeast is snowed in, mid-November here is as beautiful as it could get in the South. So come on down.
Very good point. You guys that are up there in Michigan, Wisconsin area, you all been wanting to come down south to do some dirt drags. This is going to be it, November 14th through the 16th for sure. Yeah. So we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a big hit. And the idea here, so everyone knows, this will be really the first true dirt drag that we put on down here.
Yes.
And the idea is we need to prove to this man right here to actually have the track to where it is there permanently, right?
Yeah.
And that we can continue not only for Southern Powersports, but for other ones to come in and say, hey, man, I want to put an event on here at South Georgia Motorsports Park.
Well, the truth of the matter is, Dave, racetracks are closing throughout the country. And you guys, just like in most of the other motorsports industry or gearheads, they're running out of places to run. They're running out of places to travel to. We've got the license. We've got the insurance. We've got the zoning. We're a motorsports park. We're on 350 acres.
Yep.
So we've got every right to keep it open. But if it isn't profitable, like any business, it isn't going to succeed.
Right.
So without the support of the racers and the fans coming out, it's not going to go anywhere. We've already spent a pretty penny not only to purchase the facility, to upgrade it, but to build this mud park. And now the dirt drags. We did have a dirt drag event in January.
Yes,
during
which I
our
was
grand
here for.
opening. You were here. You went down. It was a real good time. But in order for it to stay open and succeed, we do need everyone to come out and support us, because otherwise it's either you're either in the red or in the black. And if you're in the red, it just doesn't make any sense. And we're willing to try anything one time. We've been at it for 9 months now with the mud park and the dirt drag. So we know there's a future, but we need to get and continue to get support from not only racers, fans, but sponsors.
Correct.
If anybody wants to jump on board, reach out to us on Facebook, South Georgia Motorsports Park. We're notorious for drag racing. We're one of the fastest racetracks in the country. We host the fastest small tire radial racing in the country, which is lights out, like you mentioned, and No Mercy. Yep. But we've grown Michael Hill's race. We have an anniversary race. There's Big Rim Racing that was canceled this weekend, but they come from all over the country. And so we want to be a part of everyone's memories as they explore this motorsports industry that they love so much.
Oh, absolutely. And I can tell you that, series like myself that I started has been a huge help to the dirt drag world. And it's been tough on the dirt drags, as everyone knows. It's kind of dwindled, and we're trying to bring that back up. And we'll get there, and we need guys like this dude to help us get there. And we need guys like you to come to the races. Even if you're spectating, come down, watch them, help out, support not only South Georgia Motorsports Park, but any park. Would you not agree? I mean, we need to keep this going.
Fortunately for those on the other side of the lens, I'm not a bean counter. I was a racer for over 30 years, and I had the opportunity to buy this racetrack to keep motorsports alive and have it on my shoulders. But ultimately, it's a business. It has to make sense. So whether we have Southern, Powersports Series down here, or a concert or a drift event, we're going to have something. Who's going to fill that weekend is up to what the results show.
That's right.
So hopefully you all come out in November and have a great time. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have merchandise vendors, food vendors. We'll have an after hours party. We've got a circle track where we bring the excitement in. Whether it's barrel racing or truck tug of wars or a taco eating contest, we improvise and we have night entertainment as well for those folks that like to after a race sit back, have a beer, have a drink, and enjoy themselves.
And when I was here January, wasn't it? Or February? January. When I was here in January, they did that on the circle track. Unfortunately, where we're sitting, circle track is behind the main bleachers here. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. You guys put on a hell of a show. It was a great time.
Yeah, we had some barrel racing out there for for four-wheelers and side-by-sides, and then we had truck tug of war on a concrete pad we've got over there. So it's a big facility. Not only do we have a notorious drag strip, we've got a circle track that we're reviving, and the dirt drags and mud park as well.
That's right. Oh, real quick, you had told me earlier that there was a particular person here that was on the circle track. You want to talk about that just real quick? Was it Cletus that was here?
Well, no. His organization.
His organization come down.
So Freedom Plus is putting out an episode next week.
Yeah.
It airs on Thursday at Freedom Plus.
Okay.
And they're doing episodes on 3 racetracks throughout the country. They've selected us because since we bought it, we have done a lot. We've brought in, I want to say it's either 23 or 24 new events in this calendar year.
Wow.
So this place has gone from No Mercy and Lights Out only to having, over 40 events throughout the year. And that's what racetracks need to do.
Yes.
Instead of selling the, developer to put 6,000 homes in here, we're bringing in more races.
Right.
But without the support of the racers and fans, that's just not going to continue to thrive.
Now, real quick, before we jump off here, in the area, for those that would come to the racetrack, either for the blacktop or for the dirt drags or any of the events, plenty of hotels, plenty of, restaurants and things I've noticed down here.
Absolutely. You've got your national chain brands from Outback and Sizzlers and whatever other in between, IHOP. But you've got a lot of mom and pop restaurants. And then you've got, I want to say we had to do a study for NHRA, and it was, I want to say it was like 48 hotels within 20 miles.
Nice.
From Valdosta to Tifton. But if you go on exit 39, we partner with the Williams Group Hotel.
Okay.
So it's the williamsgroup.com, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And they've got, I want to say, 16 hotels within 20 miles of this location. And you could go as far south as exit, I want to say 16 has a handful of them. 22 has a couple as well. Not only that, but we offer over 300 primitive parking spots or pit areas for dry camping. We don't have electric or sewer or water on those spots. But that time of year is very nice. It's very pleasant. You probably don't want AC or heat because it's just about right.
Right.
It'll be 50s at night and maybe low 70s during the day. And then we've got showers, free showers on site as well.
Yes, and they are nice. Nice bathrooms, nice showers. Got some nice bleachers he put in down there at the drag strip. It's a great place, man. Come support Raul on this racetrack, the sport. The town, and it's Adel. Is that correct? Is it
Adel? Yes.
Adel.
Yes,
Adel.
Yes.
So anything we do here is obviously helping the town. It's not a huge town, is it?
It's not a very big town, and we're bordered by Cecil with a couple of hundred residents as well.
Okay.
But we want to prove to them to be an asset in the community.
Correct.
We're at one point, and we may or may not still be the case, Cook County's #1 tourist attraction, and I want to say we still are. I haven't really researched much, but it was at one point. And with over 40 events and bringing in hundreds, if not thousands, of spectators a week to this facility, I can't imagine any other business in the area draws that kind, except for Wild Adventures in Valdosta.
Okay.
And that's a county over. But
which is where I stayed last night.
Correct.
I stayed down in Valdosta last night.
But here in a couple of weeks, you mentioned No Mercy. We'll have over 5,000 spectators on one weekend in one day. And over the weekend, it'll be 10,000, 12,000. Over a 5-day period.
That's pretty awesome.
And that's on No Mercy number 15. It's the 15th year hosting, and then February is Lights Out.
Okay.
Big events we put on.
Well, good. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up here. I just wanted to let everyone know that, Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series will be here November 14th to the 16th. Thanks to Raul and his family. And by the way, his family is awesome. When you ever get a chance to come down here and meet them. And we're going to be putting on dirt drags. We're going to have a little bit of mudding that people can do, a little bit of trail riding. It's going to be a really good time. All the details will be out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, definitely take time, look up. Facebook's?
Yeah, we've got
what's the best way to reach you?
Followers on social media, which is South Georgia Motorsports Park on Facebook. We've got it on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Okay.
My wife handles TikTok and Instagram, and
Okay.
I manage most, if not all, of the Facebook. So reach out to us if you have any questions from here to them. But we hope you guys come on down and give us the opportunity.
Absolutely. And guys, even though we are all dirt drag racers, we all love the blacktop too. So, let's support them all. They're supporting us. Pretty cool to have a blacktop track. Say, hey man, let's put a dirt drag strip in. So very excited for it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we will talk to you soon. Well, actually, we'll see you in about 2 months.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Great interview there with Dave. And I tell you what, I'm excited just hearing what's going to happen. And I'm thinking that's going to be a huge race. But let's not forget, September 26, 27, 28, Speeders Race, Little Sandy Raceway, Grayson, Kentucky. Dave Applegate, bring us up to date. What do we got to look forward to?
We got a lot to look forward to. And I'll tell you real quick, getting back to Raul when I was down there, and I've met Raul a couple times. We talk on the phone quite a bit, but very excited about that because, again, as you've seen in the interview, we really need to prove to these blacktop tracks that the ones that have room that, man, we can have a dirt drags there as well. And he's very excited about it. So I'm really looking forward to that because we're going to have full size there as well. And I don't want to mention any names, but there's some big heavy hitters that's on World Sand Drag News here lately that have messaged me, and they are talking about making the trip. And we're talking about some, I'll just leave it there. We'll bring that up later. We got some bad boys talking, so we'll see. But anyways, first is first. So September 26, 27, 28. At Little Sandy Raceway in Grayson, Kentucky. That's race number 5 for Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series. Looking forward to that. And I'll tell you what's really, how do I say this? What's really been exciting as of late is our World Sand Drag News 2 new records, which is our 4x4 ATV Class A or A and B. A is our unlimited, if you will, or outlaw. B is our naturally aspirated. And I'll tell you something. You guys want to get a kick out of this. I've never gotten anything from Facebook, ever. No money, no nothing, never. And I hear people always getting a little bit something back from them. When I put that post out there was so many people on it. I was just checking my email just last week. Now hold tight because I'm going to have all kinds of race car parts with this money, but it was $6.05 that Facebook sent me because of that post. So it tells you that it's coming around. There's a lot of talk going on about the 4x4 ATVs. Again, as we all know, we'll find out when that day comes up. Will they show up? Will they not show up? We'll find out. But again, Thursday night, we're looking at we're going to do a big trophy race, which is in memory of Steph. We all know Steph. That has been a thing since Steph, passed in the accident. And so there's a big trophy and it's dedicated to Steph. And so that's going to be Thursday night. Friday night, Friday, we're going to have a lot of test and tune. We're doing a Hunter Javin benefit race. That is yet to be determined, although we have someone in mind and we'll be posting that at a later date. Basically what that is we have a open bracket. It's $30 to get in the bracket. $15 of it goes to the winner of the race, and they can split it with the runner-up if they like. And then $15 of it goes to the benefit. The first year we did it for Hunter Javin, who was our World Sand Drag News record holder for stock side-by-side. Hunter needs a heart, and he's doing very well right now, but we was able to raise, I think it was $2,300 for him that year, which was pretty good. And then the following year, we did it for another man in the town of Grayson, actually just outside the town of Grayson. Now, he has since passed, unfortunately, but I believe we raised just under $1,000 for him that race. So this time we're doing it for someone else. I can't say the name right now, But we'll get that out there. And then Friday night, along with that, we're going to do some quick 8 stuff probably. We got a full-size race. Now, not sure about how the full-size is going to work out because there's another race there. I think it's at Gravel Rama the same weekend, which is pretty close. Again, another series that is way bigger than mine. So we'll take whoever we can get. We got all the respect for Gravel Rama out there. So then Saturday, we get in the rest of our classes. We've got side-by-side Outlaw, the 4x4 2 classes. We got ATV no bar, ATV bar. We have a total of 10 index classes. Now, not all of them always fill, but we have plenty of index classes for everyone. We'll also have another bracket race. We've got kids races. We're looking at doing a golf cart race. There is no curfew there. So, you might want to drink your monsters because we're going to be up for a while Friday and Saturday. It's going to be a hell of a time. Very much looking forward to it. Devin and Alyssa in the last couple months, who are the owners of Little Sandy Raceway, have put another 6 inches of dirt on top of the track and tilled it in, got it all set up. And there was a race there this past weekend. And Paul Moore was actually there. And Paul said it made a huge difference, which is good to hear that from Paul Moore. The track's going to be really, really nice. And that's where we're at. So if anybody's interested, man, come on out. We're going to be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Hotels, I'm working with them right now. We are looking at a discount at about $65 to $70 a night if anyone needs a hotel right there in town. Should have that all done by next Monday or by the weekend. So working on that. We'll have food concession stands there. We're going to have, it's going to be a great time. So that's what we're looking for at Little Sandy Raceway, September 26th, 27th, 28th.
Caleb Miggs, I know you'd be on site if you had the chance.
Sure.
You're probably looking forward to some live feed if we can get it on and stuff like that while we're down there. And like I know you were talking about Shelton's, which was supposed to go last weekend. Little Sandy, probably another track that you wouldn't mind getting to at some point.
Oh, definitely. And, Dave was talking about that 6-foot trophy on Thursday night. We spoke with Paul last episode. That 6-foot trophy, out of all the accomplishments and everything that Steph had, that was one of her favorite things. And I, as a recipient of a couple of those in the past, I gotta say those 6-foot trophies, they're definitely cool. So it's great to see Little Sandy continuing that. I, really would love to go out there and see all those 4-wheel drive ATVs that Dave's talking about. Really cool to see all that heating up. We've been hearing news about some heavy hitters all the way in Canada from that. So we're going to see who shows up. Going to be really cool to see all the index racing for the side-by-sides and ATVs and stuff too. But should be a good weekend there at Little Sandy.
Should be an excellent weekend. And with the rain out last weekend at Shelton's, if there's people out there, especially the ATV guys, looking to get ready to go down to Louisiana here coming up in October, I believe, this would be a great weekend to do it. Some really good racing down at Little Sandy, a track a lot of you guys I know are familiar with. And I saw today, Jeff Ross, also known as The Bomb, Jeff Ross, is confirmed he is coming, allegedly. And I tell you what, he has some pretty fast 4x4 quads. I think I'm going to be kind of surprised if our current 4x4 records make it through that weekend. I think if those guys get a shot at it, they are gunning for it. So especially now that they know that it's out there and kind of where the bar is currently.
Yeah.
Well, the really good thing about that, I'm glad you mentioned that because Jeff is also a sponsor for Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series. So Jeff's a big help with us there.
And absolutely.
And Isaac, I don't know. Should we let the cat out of the bag here on this about who's coming down?
I'm not sure what we're talking about here, but yes, go ahead, Dave. You let it out, and we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, I think there's a guy named Isaac that might be making a trip down to Little Sandy for us.
That is true. I will be on site all weekend, coming down Friday morning. So get down there as soon as I can. And I will be on site as much of the day Friday as I can be there, as well as all day on Saturday for full coverage. Looking forward to seeing a lot of guys I haven't seen in a while. and it's been a couple years since I was at Little Sandy, so looking forward to getting back there, getting up in the tower and kind of doing my thing, and also getting around with everybody. So yeah, grateful, very grateful to Dave for bringing me on board and allowing me to come down, and really excited. Like I said, it's been a hot minute since I was down there, and really looking forward to it.
Are you bringing the hot rod? Come on, Caleb.
Come on. Hey, it's
Come
Power
on,
Sports.
go,
It's
go.
Power Sports. You can run full size, and they might let you in UTV. Come on, it's close.
Yeah.
Probably not. Well, yeah, we'll have a different discussion, but more than likely, no. Let's put it that way. So
Okay. Well, I'm just tickled that you're going to be there and help us out. We do have some better Wi-Fi there now, so you have to stay kind of close to the tower, but you'll be able to get some stuff in. Yeah, you'll be able to get some stuff in. We're excited for you to come.
That's
Dave,
right.
Why don't you go and let people know that all those people that we were talking about that rained out from Shelton's, you got some added money to a bunch of these different classes. Why don't you remind everybody what's at stake here for the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series?
Yeah, we can do that real quick. So we've got let's see, Outlaw 4x4, guaranteed $1,400 in that class, not counting 75% of the entry fee goes back to the racers. Side-by-side Outlaw, same thing, $1,400. 4x4 NA is $1,000 guaranteed. No bar ATV and our bar ATV. This is the 2-wheel drive guys. Those guys both have $600 guaranteed. Plus, we've got a new sponsor of 252 Off-Road that is going to give out $50 cash to the quickest 60-foot time in NA, which is kind of different. I like that. It's it's something different. So, and then he's putting out $50 cash to the fastest mile an hour in the Outlaw 4x4s, which is pretty good. We got Lonnie Angel in the side-by-side Outlaws that will be giving out $100 towards the fastest mile an hour and side-by-side Outlaw. We've got Bernie Racing is giving out $100 to the quickest ET and side-by-side Outlaw. We've got Restro Quad is giving out $50 in no bar and in bar for quickest ET. We've got $300 guaranteed from 4.0 all the way down to 320 in our index class. From 420 on up is $200 guaranteed. Trucks, I'm not sure what we're going to do there with the full size, because I got a feeling we're not going to get a whole lot of those. So typically what I've been doing as of late is whatever the entry fee is, they just get 100% payback. So that's what we're going to do there. Bracket race, there's another, I have to look, but I think we're giving out 200. It's either 100 or 200 guaranteed in that as well. Once we add it all up, it ends up $7,500 is being guaranteed payout for Little Sandy, a total.
Well done, Dave. Well done. And yeah, like Caleb said, any of you guys that missed out going to Shelton's and had the rain out, I tell you what, there's get in where you fit in at this Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series race. There is a spot for you to run, and it's going to be really good racing, and there's good money on the table. Really encourage you guys, you're watching this a week ahead of time. That's plenty of time to make some plans for that weekend, and I guarantee there is going to be some really good racing. Like Dave said, too, there's no curfew, so we're going to race till we get done. That's correct. The bottom line.
Correct. Now, we're not going to start late. We're going to have plenty of time to do some test and tune in the morning and whatnot. And depending on the amount of people that show up, of course, we'll determine Saturday when we actually start the race. But figuratively, we've got it set at around starting kids' classes. I believe we've got it listed at 2:00. And then right after the kids, we'll take just a short break. And then we'll get right into the eliminations.
Absolutely. No, it's going to be a great race. And I tell you what, like I said, any of you guys that missed out on going to Shelton's, here you go, an opportunity to race for some really good money with some good classes and on a very, very good track, as that Little Sandy track has always been known to be pretty quick and getting better even now with some upkeep and everything else. So, all right, folks, so that concludes our preview for the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series race at Little Sandy Raceway, Grayson, Kentucky, September 26, 27, and 28.
Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, RacingInTheDirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom-built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Reel, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser Engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD Ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts, where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. Their Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you know you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott, at RacingInTheDirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at RacingInTheDirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, RacingInTheDirt.com. That is RacingInTheDirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.